Ah, gee willikers, mother of Davy, can someone just pass out the shovels right now? Mother of lords, may we rest in peace to T1 and the organization following this past couple of days. It's obviously been something not to joke about, but Carlos, if you guys don't know G2 Carlos, I mean, this man does not hold back. I have long talked about this guy, and I'm going to be honest, quite frankly, I never know how to react to the guy as well. He will smack talk and banter and trash talk anyone in any organization. FaZe Clan, 100 Thieves, Astralis, formerly of Origin. I mean, other organizations who I have mentioned that he has trash talked just because G2 is a very highly winning organization, and it's almost become his character. This past couple of days, though, what he said about T1, yeah, it's a joke, but when you think about what they have gone through, it was an absolute burial, and I don't know if we're ever going to see any other owner or CEO or upper figure of an esports organization be able to simply get away with this kind of stuff. I think a guy like FaZe Banks could, but I mean, Ocelot or Carlos has really started to own this this roasting of figures in esports, and I greatly enjoy it because I get to make videos of it. What do you guys think about the latest tweet that Carlos made about T1? As Carlos stated, I can't believe this offseason it's only been 30 minutes and T1 has already signed SelfDestruction as jungler. This man has referenced Nadeshot as a McDonald's employee. He's called FaZe Clan a bunch of clowns, and now T1 as SelfDestruction. In case you guys don't know, certainly not a joking story when it comes to the finite details around LS, someone you feel incredibly bad for, but the situation that's been sparked around this is now ironic. In case you guys missed over the past couple of days, T1, their League of Legends Twitter account, was also deactivated. Ironic because LS deactivated his account following threats to him and doxing threats and physical threats to him and his very own grandmother. This was actually initially sparked. If you guys want a TLDR on the toxic T1 situation, I can wrap it up in about 45 seconds. First, starting off by T1 death threats. That being fans, a minute, very, very few fans, I'm sure, and I hope, giving death threats to the organization, to their players, and those players' family members. This following a failure to make Worlds and the Faker situation of do we play him? Of course, he was benched for a time as well. That was actually followed up by T1 apologizing and saying they would also be threatening legal action against people who continue to send death threats. Shortly thereafter, it was actually funeral flowers being sent to the doorstep of the T1 HQ, and along with that, T1 fans out there, again, a very minute portion of that fan base renting a van to go around Seoul and projecting a message around their concerns of the T1 organization. Eventually, we found out that LS deactivates his Twitter account, and his very own grandmother was receiving threats from fans as well. And it gets all the more crazy as, unfortunately so, it's actually then T1 in their Discord being improperly moderated and monitored as homophobic and racial slurs were targeted at LS or about LS and continued going on. It's just it's a situation that I've never really covered before, and it's so incredibly toxic and bad, and I feel like that's only the very, very tippity top of what we probably do know. You got to imagine what LS has actually gone through also behind the scenes that we will never know the details of either. And then shortly following all of this, T1 has now deactivated their own Twitter. It's just an incredibly awkward situation I've never seen before because they deactivate their League of Legends most popular Twitter account, but their main T1 Twitter account is still up and running and just not making any acknowledgement of what's going on. So I imagine they're shutting down until things can be properly handled on social media, because these things will not slow down, especially with people like Carlos, but a lot of other figures out there promptly upset with their handling of the LS situation, who, by the way, it seems was, you know, backed out of a job, rightfully so, because of being scared of all of these threats going on, and lost a job because of T1 toxicity and proper management. I should say mismanagement of all of these surrounding situations. I do want to say very briefly, I'm not sure any other organizations have gone through this kind of thing either. So hopefully T1 can learn and respond in a correct manner. It's a heck of a situation, and Carlos making light of that. Yes, on the funnier parts of this, we will see what T1 can do in the future. Until next time, what do you guys have to think about this? It's a wild one, and I have more T1 videos coming in the future, because this, unfortunately, will be a moment that goes down in the history of esports, and T1's response matters most right now. Until next time, take a sip for me. I'll see you back here sometime soon. Take care.